We're going live. Me and Bakar are here and we're live. We're having a dispute off air and I wanted to bring it on air quick.
I
Bakar
hate you,
tried to
John.
tell me that he told me to get Luke Shaw. I told you to get Luke Shaw in Gameweek 17.
Did you?
I told you and I told Abdul. I said,
I
are we not
have.
overlooking Man United defensive assets? Coming
Yeah.
back, good fixtures, blah, blah, blah. And all of you said no to Luke Shaw. And I took points for 2 weeks and then yous all got on for the 15-point haul. And I'm gutted.
I don't know what you're saying, John. I have selective amnesia, so I tend to
yeah, yeah.
forget. I tend to forget things which are not suited to my own personal interest. But yes, I got Shaw in this week, and I was lucky enough to be one of those. I mean, his ownership still. I mean, it's not that high as you'd expect it to be, because on Twitter and on other social media he's in almost every other team, but in general his ownership is still in control. So it was nice to jump on him for his 15 pointer a week before everyone else is now going to jump on him because of the double that United have
Yeah.
upcoming, which we're going to speak about very shortly.
Yeah, so you did give me one piece of advice though, Bakar. I suppose the best thing I can do is I'll show my team and then we'll show your team. I am on 60 points, so I'm happy. I made one transfer. Unfortunately, the one piece of advice, and I didn't have to take it, so it is my decision. But still, it's good fun to poke fun at the Grandmaster Bakar. You and Abdul, in fairness, both of you said Harry Kane out, keep Darwin was the move. So Harry Kane went out and I kept Darwin, and I thought it was the move and it made sense on paper. Unfortunately, it hasn't turned out great. Darwin breaking hearts again. So we'll get on to him, but I've got 60 points with Andreas still to go. Mitrovic, a whole other thing. And you are on 53 points with the exact same Mitrovic and Andreas to go. So you're kind of 53 plus an Andreas, and I'm 60 plus an Andreas. Are you happy with the game week? You have a green arrow.
Yes, I think I would have taken it. I think the Shaw haul was the difference between a green and a red arrow. And to be very honest with you, I mean, I was close to saving a transfer this week because I had the luxury of actually benching Ben White, and I thought Ben White was a perfectly playable player last week against Newcastle. But I got Shaw in for James, and I had to bench someone of Trippier or White, and I chose to go with White. And I mean, it got me 8+ points, the transfer. So I think it's a success, and now I'm well set up going forward, which bodes well.
Yeah, you're set up pretty nicely. We have some talking points. Something I want to throw at you. First off is just Newcastle's incredible defence. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clean sheets in a row. And what, 8 out of 9? Which is
They've been
just
incredible this season. Yeah, I think they've
stupid,
had
isn't it?
like 10 clean sheets this season. I mean, every man and his dog owns Trippier, so it's pointless talking about him at this point in time. You know, he's been incredible this season, especially with the bonus points he gets on top of his clean sheets. Botman is another one who's actually of interest. It's a shame that Newcastle actually don't have a double game week coming up anytime soon. But I mean, at 4.4 million, if doubles didn't exist, then he'd be far more popular, I would have thought.
The things to talk about now are you've kind of given us a few talking points here to go off. So Darwin to Kane, worth a hit. Darwin, let's talk about Darwin. That chance. That chance.
He has
Which
so
one
many,
you could
man.
say?
Which one exactly? I was gonna say that. Which one are you talking about? I
Yeah.
mean, he has so many per game. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's just ridiculous now. I mean, it's unbelievable how he's finding different ways not to score in the Premier League. In fact, he scored a beautiful finish in the FA Cup, which never have gone and had that been the Premier League, because he's missed far easier chances in the league. And I mean, he's getting chances, he's missing them. When he puts them away, it's offside. He's getting booked in frustration. He's hit the woodworks 4 times this season. He's missed 15 out of 19 big chances this season. All 7 out of 7 since restart, big chances have been missed. And, statistically, he's the biggest underperformer there is in the league since the restart, especially. I mean, His XG is almost 3, and he has no goals. Just one fortunate assist that he got. It's becoming very hard to keep him, but I personally am gonna die on the Darwin Hill. I'm gonna keep him again this week simply because I think I have bigger fish to fry and bigger priority transfers to make.
Mm.
I mean, you can call me silly, but I still think that Liverpool, just judging by how many chances they create, I mean, their XG has been brilliant, even in the past 3 games where they've, struggled in terms of, let's say, defensively. They've conceded a lot of chances at the other end, but I think it actually should work into the attackers' hands because it means that they actually have to score more goals to actually justify their defensive vulnerability.
Well, what's Klopp's take on Darwin? Is Klopp still? I haven't watched many pressers. Is he singing the whole like, they're going to come, I'm not worried about him, or is it a case of now
Yeah,
where he's like, this Egypt needs to start putting these in the net? I'm looking
no,
according
it's
to Opta since game week 17 when we came back. That's 3 game weeks now. He's got 3.32 xG for no goals. That's more xG than Haaland, who has 3 goals.
yeah. No, Klopp has been very supportive of him, and we also have to talk about the Cody Gakpo factor now that he's arrived, and I think he will be even better for the Liverpool attack because he does tend to create plenty of chances, and in the Eredivisie so far he's had 12 assists this season, if I'm not mistaken, and he was top for chances created. That is only going to work into the Liverpool attack's favor. So again, I am hopeful that hopefully there will be some points coming his way in the times to come.
What do we do with Cancelo and Foden now? I'm sick of asking this. In the bin.
I think the best thing is to wait till the Carabao game on Wednesday night. It's a very boring and a very diplomatic answer, but that's the smart thing to do
Mm.
because City are playing again in the Carabao Cup, and that fixture, the performances might give us a few clues as to what to expect in the double game week. The critical thing now is that with City having two doubles confirmed in game week 20 and then in game week 23, you want to ensure that you have the right three players that you want, right? As of now, I'm not entirely sure who those three players are. With the information we have available, I would possibly think Haaland, obviously, De Bruyne, and maybe one of Mahrez or Stones, because in my opinion, I think Stones is the likely defender who's the most nailed
Mm.
among them all, if you can call any of them nailed. And Mahrez, I simply think is undroppable in the form that he's in, especially since October. He's been brilliant. Um, and everything I read about him, everything that Pep says about him, just points to the fact that Mahrez is considered to be an undroppable at the moment. So I think that's the right try to have. But if I had Foden and Cancelo, I don't think any of them are hard sells. You can afford to keep them because especially if you're selling for a hit that's hard to justify because there's always a chance that Cancelo especially can start a game, so can Foden. It's tough to say. I think there's more chance of actually Foden starting than Cancelo, given how things have
Mm.
been. I was actually surprised to see Cancelo not start at the FA Cup game because I would have thought that he would get some minutes, but to see him benched in that game as well was actually worrying because now I sort of begin to worry whether he's behind even, let's say, Nathan Ake in the pecking order for the left back slot. So it's a bit of a worry, and I think I'm going to make a final call after what I see on Wednesday. But for now, if you have them, simply keep them.
So Mahrez is a genuine option now.
Yes, for sure, for sure. I think he's a very good option. If I was buying a City midfielder not named Kevin De Bruyne this week, it would definitely be Riyad Mahrez.
And if you didn't have De Bruyne, and you had Salah, would you be switching?
Now this is actually uh, a very pertinent question because there are plenty of moving parts this week. Again, a lot of this depends on whether Liverpool double in game week 29, 21 or not, because there is a chance, according to Ben Crellin, that Liverpool can double in game week 21. And if that is the case, then I would obviously want Salah for the double. I would also want Darwin for the double. So in that case, I would sort of question the Salah to De Bruyne move slightly more. I might still go ahead with it, but I'm not entirely sure. If that was to happen, then my initial thoughts are maybe to keep Salah and to perhaps get Mahrez instead for another midfielder to get that City attacker this week.
And just to finally sort of cross off City, which defender is the best to own?
I think Stones is the best in terms of security of starts. I think if I was picking one right now on a wild card, it would be Stones. I mean, obviously Ederson is the safest keeper that you can get because he's the easiest route into the defense. But if I was picking a defender, I think I would go with Stones. He's been incredible over the past few weeks, and even with Laporte back, I think it's Stones is the slot to lose, and he will play most games. I would have thought. Rico Lewis is an interesting one, but again, Pep was very complimentary about him. In fact, he even compared him to Philip Lahm very recently. But again, you never know with Pep. I mean, one bad performance, and he might be straight into to the shredder. That's what you get with Pep. I mean, yes, he's only 3.9, and he could be worth the risk, but obviously it is a risk, and it's worth acknowledging that fact.
Is there any debate around captaincy this week, or is it just Haaland, Haaland, and Haaland?
It is Haaland, but there is a debate regarding whether the chip should be used, the triple captain chip, right? That's the debate.
If
I
only
don't
there
think
were
there's.
easier fixtures. If only.
Yes, that's the opportunity cost of the at the double game week this time around, because obviously the fixtures are tough on paper, but it also means on the other side of the coin that Haaland is guaranteed minutes, right? And it's not often that you will say that later in the season. Yes, City will have a double in game week 23 as well, which again I think there's a very marginal difference between that double game week and this double game week. That one is against Villa at home and Arsenal away. This one is United away and Spurs at home. So I think there's a very marginal difference between the two game weeks. I think if you're looking to triple captain Haaland, then maybe this week or maybe in game week 23 is the way to go. My inkling is that a slightly higher proportion of managers will look to triple captain in game week 23 simply because of how good United are looking right now. But I think you have to actually think about the triple captaincy chip on Haaland, because there will be opportunity later on in the season, as you say, but those will happen in weeks when playing some of the other chips such as the bench boost or the wild card might be more optimal, or even for example in game week 37 City will have a double game week, but that's around the UCL semi, so you never know whether Haaland is going to play those easier fixtures, or whether even if he's going to be fit, we don't know.
What if he gets injured?
Exactly. So
Take him while we can, Bakar. Let's do it.
That's precisely what I'm trying to say, which is why I do think that the best opportunity will is to triple captain Haaland is either in game week 20 or in game week 23.
What are you going to do?
I am on game week 23 as of now.
Come on, big lad. Come on. He's going to be injured in 23, lad. All these chumps, all these bums, they'll have to triple captain Kane or Salah or someone. Me and you can take Haaland in game week 20. Triple captain. It's a derby. He's gonna
I will give it more thought. Yes, I will give it more thought for sure. It is a derby, but again, United's defense is just
you're right.
Very good. Yeah, that's the problem.
Haaland.
I mean, United have come a far way from the 6-3 defeat to City in October in game week 9. I just think United are a different team now.
Haaland hat-trick, and then he's gonna go bag 2 against Spurs. 5 goals, 6
yeah,
bonus.
Spurs. I mean, Spurs is the fixture which I feel very confident about. I have no doubts in my head that Haaland's going to do really well over there.
Oh man, do you know what? I'm not ready for this week of stress.
It is. There are a lot of moving parts this week, John. When you look at FPL, because a lot of what we do this week will dictate how our chip strategies will be later on in the season. And you're basically setting yourself up for the chips and for the double game weeks to come, and this is the first step to that. So this week is going to be very instrumental in deciding and determining how we go at the end of the season.
You mentioned United's defence. If you were buying someone right now, would it be Shaw? Would it be Dallo? Who are you going for?
I would go with Dallo actually if I was buying one right now. I think those who don't have Shaw can afford to pick Dallo for differential because when you look at the numbers, actually, both have similar XGI per 90 this season, but Dallo has slightly more goal threat. He has more shots in the box per 90 and um, actually double the number of penalty area touches than Shaw as well. So I think he's slightly more threatening. And the fact that he's fully fit now, and I just think he's on a different level to Wan-Bissaka. I don't think he's a rotation risk personally. So I would go with Dallo if I was picking one.
Okay. Have you had any thoughts about your transfers this week, or is it too early?
Um, I have quite a few transfer plans in my thoughts, which again, the main thing that is going to determine which way I go is going to be whether or not Liverpool double in 21, right? If we get news that Liverpool are doubling in 21, then I'd be very hesitant to sell Salah, um,
Mm.
and or Darwin. I'm not selling Darwin actually in any of my plans, regardless. And the if Liverpool are not doubling, then obviously the Salah to De Bruyne move becomes a lot more straightforward, and that is something I might do. And if I feel, let's say, tempted by more hits, then I can, sell
Mm.
Cancelo for someone like Stones, or perhaps even take a bigger hit to get my structure right. I mean, I haven't put a -8 past me this week. I mean, there have been in my thoughts. For example, there's this move that I was contemplating that I can go from Cancelo to Dallo and um, Andres and Salah to De Bruyne and Mahrez. I mean, that would give me triple city attack. So these are certain moves that I'm contemplating. But I mean, if you were to ask right now, I think the same move in my head is probably Salah to De Bruyne if Liverpool don't double, and if uh, Liverpool double, then perhaps go from Mitrovic to Martial or Almiron to Mahrez. Again, I'll recess after what I
Mm.
see in the City game, but Mahrez is strongly in my thoughts.
I have a lot of interesting options. I don't know which I'll go for, but looking ahead at my team, I've got 2 free transfers and 4.5 mil in the bank. Reece James still needs sorted. There's a lot that can happen.
You're in a good position though, since you don't have Cancelo, you can now choose whichever city you want.
Yeah. Who do I want? Stones?
I, I think you're very well said, actually.
Yeah. Lot to think about. But Bakar, before I go getting excited and thinking, I don't know if you're ready to cry or not, or if you've cried many times this year yet, but only 52 people have liked the video and there's over 300 here. That means like less than 1 in 6 people actually like you.
That's very deflating and very disheartening. I mean, we're recording the stream at 1:25 local time AM over here. So I would appreciate if people can show some love for our efforts. I know John has been a very busy man this week, so for him to take the time out to do this with me means that he should be appreciated as well. So kindly show some love, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank
Drop
you.
a like and subscribe. Lots more coming. Do that for us, please. Big help. Will we do some questions, Bakar? Then we'll hit the road.
Sure.
So everyone, get in the questions. Start asking. We like yes or no's, and we like yes or no's, and we like what's the other thing? A or B style questions. Get them in, and we'll answer as many as we can, as quick as we can, and answer all those dilemmas before this weekend comes. Dollypool says he ended up captaining Leno this week, even though it was laughed at. I remember that laugh. Do you?
I told you I have selective amnesia, man. I don't remember that laugh.
I
Who laughed?
remember that.
Which
I
idiot
remember
laughed?
it. Yeah. It was quick fire questions. Leno captain, and you went, next one. You didn't even answer it. And this guy's went, and Captain Bloody Leno. What did he end up getting?
10 points, I think.
10 points in
Yeah.
a game to play. Whew. It
And
pains you.
we're sitting here with Mitrovic.
I tell you what, we got off very lucky. Captain and Mitrovic with Haaland. Imagine that had it went tits up.
Yeah, it could have gone tits up, to be very honest. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things I would have done every single time
Mm.
you know, when Mitrovic had those fixtures with those numbers. It's just unlucky that he got the yellow card. I mean, I think it was worth the risk.
That was like a proper FPL moment, wasn't it? It was like 0 to 0, bonus points, the whole shebang,
Exactly.
another fixture, everything.
And the yellow card in
Stupid yellow.
itself was soft as well. I mean, it was soft, and it was almost if the ref was dishing out a lot of cards prior to the to this incident as well. And I was watching the game and I thought there's a yellow card coming for Mitrovic, and
It did.
frustrating.
All right, let's answer some questions. I'm not timing it. I'm just going to bang them at you till we get bored. Mahrez or
Sure.
Ederson?
Mahrez.
Get out of here, Victor. Victor likes you more than me. My ego can't deal with that. What do you guys think about replacing Kepa with De Gea?
Kepa has a good fixture this week. I won't do it this week because um, De Gea has one of the fixtures of City, so I won't go there.
Cucurella to Stones?
Good move. Yes.
Matoma or McAllister?
This is actually something I want to talk about as well because Brighton are possibly going to have a double in 21. Mitoma actually has the best minutes per XGI among the Brighton midfielders, but so if you ask me from a statistical point of view, it's Mitoma, but McAllister played in the number 10 role against I think it was Borough in the FA Cup where Brighton won 5-1. And he was looking very advanced and threatening. And he is on penalties as well. So that's just worth keeping an eye on. I would suggest that you wait this week and assess the numbers as to who looks better this week and then pick the other one next week. But if I was picking one right now, I'd pick Matoma.
Darwin to Kane?
No, not in my opinion. I mean, if you have nothing better to do, I'd consider it, but I do think most teams will have better transfers to make.
Cucurella to Shaw or Darwin to Cancelo and Kane to Dallo? A lot of
Can you
moving parts
repeat?
there in your head. So Cucurella to Shaw
Okay.
or Darwin and Cancelo out for
Okay.
Kane and Dallo in.
No, I would probably do the Shaw move straight away. The Kukurea out move, was it?
Yeah, Cucurella out, Shaw in.
Yeah.
Keep or
yeah.
sell KDB?
Why on earth would you sell? People are buying.
All right, Warren Buffett. Kane captain or Haaland boring captain?
Boring is good.
It's boring. Yeah,
I
it's
like boring. Yeah.
yeah. I like boring. Yeah. Darwin and Cancelo out for Kane and Stones. You don't like the Darwin out move. Everyone wants to do it.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. But I won't do it for a hit. For sure. I won't do it for a hit. I mean, it's something I would have considered if I did not have anything better to do in my squad. But for starters, I think I have to prioritize the third City player, which I don't own. So I don't want to prioritize Kane. And besides, Liverpool's numbers are actually much better than Spurs. I mean, Spurs have had 3 big chances since restart. Liverpool have had 13. They just create far more. And Kane's fixtures aren't the easiest in this double, and then they have City again in Gameweek 22 as well, which is not ideal. So, I mean, I'm happy to ignore Kane personally, but if you can go there, I don't mind the transfer.
Is Felix an option if his loan move is confirmed?
I don't think anyone from Chelsea is an option.
I think even if he is an option, it's a wait and see, though, isn't it? It's like
Yes.
Akanji, keep or sell?
It's similar to Cancelo, isn't it? I mean, it's similar to Cancelo. I think you can probably keep.
Mitrovic to Kane?
If you can afford it, why not?
How about Gakpo for a differential pick? Now, this is from the guy who we laughed at last week about Leno, Dallypool.
I think it's a good differential to
Need to see
have,
more
but
of him,
I mean,
maybe.
you can afford to go there, but I just think there are better picks with doubles to come right now, which should be prioritized.
Yeah, what's he coming in at? 8 million, is it?
Yeah. 8 million is
He's
a
coming
snip.
in at 8, and whenever you go and you have a look at the likes of Rashford, Martinelli, Almiron, all sub 7 million, he, like, to be taking that punt.
Pricing is very generous this year.
Like, if Gakpo had come in at maybe 7, which he wouldn't have, but like,
I think 8 million is perfectly fine. I would have expected him to be higher actually. I think 8 million is cheaper than what I expected him to come at.
I hear you, right? And trust me, I'm the kid's biggest fan. I love him. I really, really do. I just look at it and I go, compared to.
Let's say Luis Diaz is a similar price as well.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, here's my point. It's more just that it shows, it really is becoming evident how stupidly cheap the guys who we all thought were cheap are, isn't it? Like, they're
Exactly.
stupidly cheap. You can't not
Yeah.
have them because, like, the points per million is just too good. Odegaard or Martinelli?
Uh, Over the course of the season, Odegaard has better numbers in terms of XG. I would still prefer Martinelli simply because the fixture that Arsenal have coming up, I expect them to play a bit more on the break, especially in the United fixture, the Spurs fixture, um, and the City fixture again. So I just think you'll find Martinelli closer to Cole, and you'd want Martinelli over Odegaard in those fixtures.
We have another one there. Cancelo to Ake and Mount to Mahrez.
I think Ake is too big of a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was picking someone in that price range, I would rather go with Dallo.
Dallo. Okay.
Yeah.
There might be one or two more here and then we'll wrap up. Cancelo and Andreas for Rashford and Shaw.
If you don't own those United guys, then I think it's about time that you get them in now. Sure.
Ericsson or Bruno.
Bruno. Bruno's numbers are much better. He's playing closer to goal, and I think he's actually a very good differential to own.
Bruno, would you be tempted?
Yeah.
Where do you
I
find
won't
him?
go there because I have to prioritize the third city, but he's a good player in my opinion. His numbers are decent, and if I had room for a differential, then I would go there. If you own someone like Sterling, then the price bracket is similar, so you can go from Sterling to Bruno.
Is Mahrez worth it for a -4?
Depends on who you're selling, but I like his credentials in the double game week.
Well, Bakar, it's been a pleasure. Guys, subscribe to the channel before you leave for more content. With another video coming tomorrow. And you can find BigManBakar on Twitter at BigManBakar, and you can find me at John Nellis. It's down there. And we'll see you next time, won't we? Anything else, Bakar?
Done. Nope. I think we've covered everything. Good luck
Cool.
with the double game week. I hope we meet you to green arrows next time.